Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about foundational marketing. This is the same marketing that your grandparents used. This is the marketing that we build our bricks of less conventional marketing on. And this is the same stuff that kind of you expect everybody's doing, but you have to make a nice, strong foundation to be able to add the surprising elements to it. So that everything trickles down to this strong, firm place where you started. While marketing can be overwhelming, those same techniques that were used 100 years ago are the same ones that you can build on today. Those techniques are the foundation of success. The first thing I did when I signed the lease on this studio all those years ago was go door to door to the other businesses in my area and shake hands. I met everybody. They're all doing the same thing that you're doing. They're getting their business out. They're building their brand. They're reminding people who they are if they've been around for a long time. I bought a ridiculous amount of business cards. I stuffed my purse full of them and I went door to door and introduced myself. That enabled the other people to put a face to my business and for me to do the same for them. And that's a good time too to reach out to the other businesses and see how you can be a consumer for them and maybe vice versa. So you go into a little boutique and you buy something to add to your studio wardrobe. You see if there are any possibilities there for collaboration in marketing or in special events. There are a lot of opportunities just by being neighbors that will open you up to a new demographic. I took all those business cards and I went door to door the same way Pa Ingalls probably did if he was looking to sell something or looking to buy something. The first few felt weird and uncomfortable. I wasn't very smooth with my talking. I wasn't great at listening, but it was the first step. And that's all you have to take is the first step. You can't think about the steps ahead of that. Don't get ahead of yourself. It felt weird at first, but every time you go over that, every time you shake a hand, every time you introduce yourself in your business, it gets easier and more smooth and more natural, just the way you want it to be. You can't get to the third step without taking the first. Did I book session from that day walking around the neighborhood? No, not a single one. But that's not really what that's for. That's for laying the foundation. That's the first time they're going to be introduced to your brand, to your product, to your business. That's the first step. A consumer needs to see a brand 7 times before they are ready to trust, especially beyond a certain price point. You need them to value your brand. You need them to trust you. Repetition, consistency, those things can only happen over time. You can speed up those 7 times. You can make those 7 times happen really quickly, but you can't do it without making the first step. And shaking hands is the cheapest, the easiest, the way that makes most sense. All marketing is connection. Your ability to connect with other people, for them to connect to your product, to your brand, to your business, whatever it is, there has to be a connection there for them to be willing to support your business, for them to be willing to value your business. All marketing is connection. You want the consumer to be able to connect to you, to your product, to your brand, to your business. The best way, even now, is the same way that was the best way 200 years ago. Then it was the only way. Now it's still the best way, by shaking hands, by making that connection, that personal connection right away. You're not just a brand. You're not just a storefront. You're a face. You're a personality. Go to brick and mortar stores. Support the other businesses that are doing the same thing you're trying to do. Join a chamber of commerce. A business exchange like that is a great way to practice your pitch, to practice shaking hands and introducing yourself, to practice listening to what they're telling you and finding ways that you can meet their needs. They're all there for the same reason too. There's a good chance there will be somebody else who's the first time there and it's the first time they're doing their pitch, and you can bounce it off each other. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, the more readily it flows, the more natural it feels. You can take an index card and write a little script out for yourself with some keywords, with some phrases that feel like they're a good match for you and for your brand. Keep it in your pocket, keep it in your purse. Take a peek at it before you might be presented with the opportunity to present that to someone else. Before you go into a luncheon, look at it in the car, go over it a little bit in the mirror with yourself a few times. It's gonna be more natural. You have to get past that awkward phase that we're all gonna go through. I know a lot of people use the phrase born salesman. They're not born, they're taught, they're learned. And they might have a personality more attuned to that type of dealings with people, but you get better as you go along. No matter where you start, you get better every time you do it. Nobody starts out good at that. Nobody starts out great at that. That's a learned response. You will fumble your words. The most eloquent, exquisite speakers in the world mess up sometimes. I'm a preacher's kid, and my dad is one of the most eloquent, gifted speakers I've ever had the blessing to hear. And he's messed up over the years. There was one point, and unfortunately for him, we were teenagers, and he switched gears in the middle of a sentence and said fart in a sermon. He maintains to this day that he did not, but we all heard it. The pews were shaking with laughter while we tried to stifle ourselves. We all heard it. That happens sometimes, even the best. He maintains he did not say it, but he would like to offer you the advice to don't change what you're going to say mid-sentence. It's probably not going to end well. But that happens, so if it's going to happen, just get it out of the way. And you're going to see that it's not that big of a deal to mess up in front of somebody. There's a chance you'll never see them again. There's also a chance that they're going to feel like you're more human that way, that you're relatable to them that way. Maybe they were uncomfortable too, and that broke the ice. Don't recommend going out trying that, but whatever works. Every time you present to someone, it gets easier. It gets smooth and more natural, and you will become a gifted speaker too. Start by making it really simple. Give yourself 3 descriptive words that encompass you and your brand and your product. Write them on an index card, write them on your hand, whatever you need to do, memorize those and practice rolling those naturally into sentences. Practice them around the house, to your kids, to your dog, to your cat, to your spouse, and let them be a part of your vocabulary on a normal daily basis. And they will flow more smoothly when you need them to be there. Let them describe you. Let them describe your photographs and your business and your brand. Let them make sense and encompass them whenever possible. You can work backwards if you want. If you have the words first, then arrange your brand and your business and the way you're presenting yourself to encompass those words. Either way works as long as they're in sync. You have an assignment. Go to the grocery store at a busy time. Take a peek before you go in there at your little index card. Stand in line and practice your pitch to as many people as you possibly can. And every time it's going to get easier. Every time you're going to learn something about yourself and about the audience that's a little more universal so that you can play off of people, so that you can respond to them and connect with them. Have your business cards ready. I've got plenty. Always have plenty. Tell the people at the grocery store what you do for a living. Be proud of that. Be proud of what you're building. It doesn't have to be finished. We're all work in progress. Tell them about you. Allow them to tell you about themselves. And play off of each other. We've got an interesting career as photographers, and people like to hear about it. Be interested in their career too. That's your assignment for today. So go out, practice, practice, practice. I want to know in the comments how it goes. I want to know if you had any stumbling blocks. If there's something that I can help with, let me know in the comments, in my email, either way. I'd love to have you subscribe to me and see how we can move forward with this and get better and better every week. Thanks. And I'll see you guys in a couple days. Thanks.